Now, if you've seen this channel before, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I actually kind of like video games. They're pretty fun. They're a nice escape from reality. You get to dive into some nice emotional stories, get to fall in love with different characters, and have some fun gameplay as well. And I've been really trying to push myself to play more games recently. There's a lot of games in my backlog. I'm like, man, I'm not getting any younger yet. I have all these games like on my deathbed. I'm like, oh, dang it. I wish I played Serious Sam. And then I die. But we'll get to Serious Sam eventually. Not this time, but maybe 2035, I will have played Serious Sam. Mark that on your calendar. Anyways, though, I challenged myself last year to play more games, and I made a video on it. And guess what? This year, I did the same dang thing. I didn't play quite as many games as I did last year, but I played some pretty big ones. So let's go ahead and talk about that, shall we? Walk through the list of all of the games that I've played in 2025. Games that I played by myself, not including games that I've recorded or live streamed, which, to be honest, isn't that many this year. So last year I was playing through a lot of the Resident Evil games. I made it through 2, 3, 7, 4. I just kind of jumped around a little bit there, but it was really fun. My first time ever playing those games, and I loved them. They were such an amazing time. My introduction to them was Resident Evil 4, and after that I was like, alright, well, I gotta play all of them now, right? So, long story short, I had some unfortunate trouble, and it turned out my PS5 got bricked after playing Resident Evil 7. So I had to wait just a second to that sorted out. But I did end up playing. The first game I played this year was Resident Evil 8, and it was fantastic. To me, it almost feels like sort of a spiritual successor to Resident Evil 4. It's got a lot of similar ideas. You've got the merchant, it's more action-based. The environment is definitely different enough, but it definitely reminds me. There's, you've got the castle stuff in Resident Evil 4, you got the castle stuff in Resident Evil 7. Just the vibe of it and everything sort of felt like that too. Although I will say this one definitely is more creepier than Resident Evil 4 ever got, really. Resident Evil 4, has its creepier moments and stuff like that, but never really, to me, felt like, oh my god, I'm scared, I'm terrified out of my wits. Whereas this one has, honestly, probably one of the most creepy and terrifying moments in the entire franchise, so that was really fun. I don't think this one is perfect, but it is really fun. It feels like, to me, one of the most easily replayable ones. Like, I could see myself picking this up. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on, guys. Let me play Resident Evil 7. I'll be right back. I'll be back in about, 8 hours. No, but anyways, the point is, I think it's just such a fun game and really wraps up the story of one of the characters quite nicely, so I really appreciate that. And you get to have some fun. You get to play as some of the other characters too as well. You get to play as one specific character, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Resident Evil game. It basically turns Resident Evil into Call of Duty for a second. It's so funny and so fun too at the same time, and very satisfying after going for the game. All right, now I'm mowing down enemies, man. Look out, move out of the way, sucker. So quite a fun game. Love the style, love the feel. Once again, not perfect. I think the strongest part is definitely the Lady Dimitrescu, castle house thingamabob. I like Heisenberg stuff. It feels a little out of place, but I don't mind it too much. The rest of it is pretty good. It's pretty good. The house stuff with the creepy doll is pretty good. The atmosphere is nice and creepy. And it also has, of course, once again, the most terrifying part of any Resident Evil game. So, ba-bing, I like that. And then the fish guy, it was fun. I enjoyed it, but definitely one of the weakest parts of the game. But overall, though, Resident Evil 8 was a great start. The final boss fight was actually pretty easy. This is easy. My game crashed when I was playing it, so I did it twice. So, and it was easy both times. What can I say? Anyways, though, Resident Evil 8, great. That's why they call it 8. 8 rhymes with great. And also, I'm very much looking forward to, of course, Resident Evil 9. That's one of my most anticipated games of this year. Looking forward. We just got the Leon reveal. We all knew Leon was going to be in there anyways. But now we got the official confirmation, so that was exciting. One of the best parts of the Game Awards, which was, it was a show. It was something. I'll tell you what. But anyways, great start of the year with Resident Evil Village. Next up, we have an indie horror gem that is, of course, getting a movie very soon. Bendy and the Dark Revival. I played Bendy and the Ink Machine when I got my, let me walk you through this. So I had this old PC that was old and it could barely run anything, honestly. I was out here playing Far Cry 3 at 20 FPS, man. I don't know how I did it. I did it, man. I played for the whole game at maximum 30 frames per second. But I did it. I was determined, and it didn't bother me. But now when I did it a while ago, it's like, wow, this sucks. And so, you gotta upgrade the PC sometimes, man. What can I say? And the first game that I played on my newer computer was Bendy and the Ink Machine, because I really wanted to play it, and I couldn't play on my old computer because it was like really old and it was overheating and stuff like that. So that's not the optimal environment to play Bendy and the Ink Machine. And then, of course, I played it right around the time when Bendy and the Dark Revival got announced, and it was like it went through some pretty interesting development. There was a pretty fair chance that it wouldn't have been made, honestly, at the time. And it was like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. And then all of a sudden, boom, we got it. And I bought it pretty much right away, and then I played it like several years later. So, kind of the story of my life sometimes. Jedi Survivor, we played that last year. I bought that day one, and I just defeated it last year. So, look, alright, give me a break here. Anyways, Dark Revival, pretty good. I think there's some stuff that it does better than the first one. I think it definitely feels more refined. I think the combat is a bit better in this one. A little more stealth elements and stuff like that. But other stuff, I don't know, man. If I remember correctly, there's no map, which really sucks, I'll be real with you. You just kind of have to wander around and stuff sometimes, like figure out where exactly to go, so that was kind of annoying. Didn't really love that. Needed a map, in my opinion. But if it did have a map and I'm misremembering, then I'm crazy. But this was like almost a year ago, alright? Please help me. But the story was good. I appreciate the story. I like this new character and everything like that. And sort of the lore and everything surrounding it, and diving further into what's her name, like Angel or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool. Environments were great. I still love that feel. It's like sort of Disney-esque, but it also kind of reminds you a little bit of BioShock as well. Definitely different as far as its structure compared to Bendy and the Ink Machine. But still a lot of fun. I think the first one definitely has its stronger moments and more memorable moments, but this one was also pretty good too. The final boss fight kind of sucked, I'll be real with you. I didn't really like it that much. It was kind of, I wouldn't say annoying, it was just kind of underwhelming, I guess. It was just I don't know. But it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Would I replay it? Yeah, but I'm not really like rushing out to replay it. Unlike with Resident Evil 8, I'd replay that any day of the week. And say it, in fact, hold on guys, I'll be right now. Anyways, a joke is old already, man. Dark Revival, pretty good. If you like the first one, give it a shot, man. If you don't like the first one, don't give it a shot, But yeah, it was pretty good. It's definitely probably one of the weaker games that I played on this list. Actually, let's say it is the weakest game on this list. But that's because we got to play a lot of other stronger games that we got to talk about. Hold up. Listen, I'm part of the problem why this game didn't get a sequel. Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing. There's a good reason why it won Best Story in the Game Awards that year. It is phenomenal. Some of the combat, I think, gets a little stale after a while. Like, towards the end, I was like, alright, come on, wrap it up, buddy. But I think overall, though, it is really fun. There's a lot of things I think that they could do better in the sequel, if there was one. But it is really great. It's such a fun time. It's very true to form. It feels like sort of playing through the movies, but with its own sort of nice flair. It doesn't just feel like a ripoff, like, oh, this is just, Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, lights. No, it has its own unique story, has its great character moments and emotion and everything attached to it, too. It still has a banging soundtrack, just like the movies do. Has a lot of fun twists and turns. The combat is pretty fun, too. The enemies are nice and fun and sometimes pretty challenging as well. I wish you could play as the others. That was the big thing that I wish could be changed for the sequel. Like, you get to play as all of them. You get to switch through, like, oh, I'm going to play as Gamora right now, or, Drax or whatever. But I like that each of them have their own unique abilities that you can use and upgrade and stuff like that and manage and everything like that. Kind of has a little bit of like a Mass Effect feel to it in a way in that regard. So I love that. Well, maybe not maybe Mass Effect isn't quite the exact like comparison there, but yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, probably one of the best Marvel games, I would say. I'd say it's like, I don't know, top 3 maybe. If top 3 is Marvel, Spider-Man, Guardians, and then Lego Marvel, I don't know, in whatever order. I will say it is better than Marvel's Spider-Man 2. You can quote me on that. Write that down and show it to your friends. I said that, alright? It is better. Because the story is much more consistent and much more emotionally charged. So it really is a shame that this didn't get any more. I mean, people are finding out about it now and everything, but with the aftermath of the Avengers game, which I'm sure isn't that bad, I'm sure the campaign is good. We don't got to talk about the multiplayer, but I'm sure the campaign is fine. But yeah, this was truly a delight, and really makes me wish that we got to see more Marvel games, which of course are getting Wolverine this year as well, another anticipated game for me personally, so very excited for that. We need more Guardians though, please. I almost didn't include this game because I'm still playing it, I'm sorry. But my good friend Energetic Dre sent me Battle for Bikini Bottom on the Xbox, and I got to play it, and it's such a great game. Really love it. I need to defeat it. I will defeat it. All right, I will defeat it. I'm sorry. But anyways, it is like I've played the handheld version of it. I think it was on the Game Boy Advance, and that was fun. But this is way different than that. The environments are amazing. I mean, there's like such a level of nostalgia for me, despite not actually having played this particular version. But just seeing all these environments from the show and all these characters and stuff brought to life in such a great way. Most of the voice actors came back as well. Clancy Brown did not, which is unfortunate. I wish he was back as Mr. Krabs, but everyone else is there, so it's great. And yeah, the environments are so fun. There's a lot of it's really fun, like, you hopping around and stuff and finding all these things and everything and get some cool power-ups and stuff like that. And it's really charming too. It's an older game, but honestly, the graphics aren't really like, it's not like, oh, this is so old. It's like, it looks really nice for its time, and it really holds up well too. Like, it just really captures the feel of the show incredibly. And of course, has an amazing and fun story too, and has some pretty cool boss fights so far as well. I really enjoy the boss fights more than I did Bendy in the Dark Revival. It's still pretty good. But yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom is definitely a must play. I will say it is really such a fun time. There's a new version as well, which I've heard. The controls aren't as good as the original, but the graphics look nice. Of course, that's cool. But yeah, it truly is a gilded, perfect SpongeBob game. It's a lot of fun. I gotta defeat it. But yeah, I was really just blown away with a lot of aspects by it, and it's just such a fun and just nice feeling game. Listen, what can I say? Oh, Energetic Dre a lot, alright, man. I've known him for over 10 years. He's one of my closest friends, so thank you for showing me these amazing games. Another game that he sent to me was Gravity Rush, which is amazing. It's so fun. I loved it. I got to play the second one. It provides a nice challenge as well. The idea is you can sort of like flip through gravity and stuff like that in some sort of rush, maybe, a gravity rush, I guess. But in all seriousness, it's just such a charming, nice game. It just has such a great, I miss it. Out of all of these games, I think this is the one that I miss the most. It's just so nice. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. There's a really great maps. The art style is sort of this shell shaded look to it. The combat's really fun. I really enjoyed the different combat challenges and the time trials and all of that stuff. That's sort of extra fun bonus stuff to do. The place feels so alive. There's a lot of different NPCs and stuff, and a lot of different like random things you can do around the place and everything. I like the little side quests and stuff to unlock like different outfits and everything. That's really fun. The boss fights provide a really nice challenge too. Unlike another game, it just really was such a beautiful and fun time. An interesting story as well, sort of these beings and everything that can control gravity and everything, and just sort of the weird and interesting stuff that comes out of that. And there's a lot of really creative moments as well. I really love the part where you find like the lost children. That was pretty fun little section there, kind of in this Ewok type village, little joints underneath like the freaking world or whatever, man, like crazy stuff. And you have like this other like anti-gravity lady that's kind of a meanie, but maybe she just got a little more going on there than it seems. You kind of save the city, and you sort of you get to build out the map and stuff. You sort of save more parts of the city from this like gathering like creepy ooey darkness stuff. And then it expands the map. You get these new locations you can ride to on a train, or you can some of them you can kind of teleport to or whatever and stuff. So it's really cool. It's such a great game, very underrated. I love the style of it too. The cutscenes are sort of like comics in a way, so that's really fun. So yeah, great stuff. I'm excited for Gravity Rush 2. It deserves more love. It's amazing. This next one, I'm just going to talk about 3 games at once and sort of dissect all of them. So, I saw that Mafia: The Old Country was coming out. I was like, you know what, I've never played, I've played a little bit of the original Mafia, but I've never played the definitive version, which is a remake from the ground up of Mafia, and it's really cool. I was like, I may as well play them all. So I played Mafia Definitive Edition, Mafia 2, and Mafia 3. So, I never ended up, spoiler alert, I never actually ended up playing the Old Country, and I probably will one day. I don't really feel a very strong draw to it because it doesn't seem like it's that good, to be honest with you. So, I mean, look, if it makes Mafia free, well, good. You know you're in trouble. Mafia free, don't get me wrong, I like it. We'll talk about it, but come on, what are we doing here? Just get it to Mafia 4 and do it right. Set it in the 70s in like Las Vegas or something. It's an instant classic. What can I say? Anyways, Mafia Definitive Edition takes place, I believe around the Great Depression. Yeah. I think I'm remembering right. It's just a really fun like gangster type video game. If you like Goodfellas especially, this one sort of like taps into a little more like Godfather-y feel too, but all of them feel like they're definitely like inspired by Goodfellas. Especially Mafia 2 is like directly inspired by Goodfellas. But if you like that sort of feel, this sort of mafia fun feel, with some emotional beats and stuff like that, like you get to see our boy here, fall in love with this lady and stuff like that, and sort of navigate the difficulties between mafia life and, his real life, and sort of how he, sort of gets to where he is and everything like that and stuff, through the twists and turns, and, sort of I love the way that they present this, like he's sort of like being interviewed, about like what happened with everything with Salieri and everything like that. So I thought that was a really cool like style for this game in particular, and it's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of memorable moments. The racing part was kind of a pain. The car physics are very strange. So I did that a lot. I'll be real with you, I failed that a few times. So if you do that too, you're in, I've got good company, I guess. But that's one of the things. I love the attention to detail that these games have. Some of them more than others, obviously. But the attention to detail in Mafia 2 is insane. We'll get to that in a second. But they went like really hard, like so hard that it makes a modern game like Mafia 3 look bad, which is very interesting. But the cars kind of drive pretty badly, but on purpose. It's historically accurate because the cars in the past sucked as well. But it's not even like a general complaint. I think it's actually like it generally like it adds to it because like the cars are very clunky and stuff like that too. But it feels right because I mean they're dealing with these old cars and stuff that are very heavy, and they just started figuring out how to make cars. They haven't made the Ferrari yet. Give them some time. But anyways, so I do like that. I like all that aspect to it, sort of the attention to detail and the feel of it. It is not an open world game either, which I think is interesting. It is very linear. You just go from chapter to chapter. It's like, chapter blah, 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 it gives you the name of the chapter and you get to do the mission, stuff like that. So it felt a little weird as like a modern game. It's like a remake of a old game from like the early thousands. So that felt a little weird. Not that I didn't like it, but it was sort of like, it's kind of abrupt, I guess. It doesn't really allow you to explore a lot, which I would have liked to have seen a little more. You can definitely explore a little bit, but yeah, it's very linear in that regard, unlike, some of the later Mafia games. So that might be something that sort of like stands out if you play it, especially if you played the other games first. But yeah, it was quite a great story. I loved it. I really grew attached to the characters. I love the finale. The final mission is fantastic, just like Mafia 2. Kind of similar to Mafia 2's ending, honestly. But not to say that's a bad thing. But yeah, some really good stuff. And then I replayed Mafia 2, which is still one of my favorite games of all time. It is just perfect. And in fact, I recommend that you play Mafia 2 first and then go back to Mafia 1. Trust me, you'll see why. It's going to be interesting. It's fascinating, like, seeing how they connect these two. I don't want to say much, but it's really good. And this one, of course, takes place in the 40s, and then it jumps ahead into the 50s. There's still some aspects that aren't very good, like the combat, the fighting, the fisticuffs. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not that great either. Thankfully, you don't have to do it that long. There's a specific chapter where you have to do a lot of fist fights, but other than that, there's not really that much. There's a tutorial part, which tells you how to do it, and then you don't really use it that often until that specific chapter. But other than that, yeah, it's not like it's holding the game back or anything. It's like all of it is like stuck with fisticuffs or whatever. No. but the story is great. You know, sort of rise of Vito and sort of like how everything goes down and everything, and you know, you got all these connections and stuff like that, and sort of like the complexities of mafia life and whatnot. So I do love that. And yeah, some really iconic moments and missions too. I love the part where they dress up as like cleaners and stuff like that and go into the building, and that's a really fun level. That's one of the best levels right there. And just so many great bits in that game. I love it. It's such a great game, and the vibes are immaculate. Even of course it takes place in the 50s. It has all these really cool cars. The radio station plays all these old songs and everything. So it's really, the Mafia games, what they do best is really immerse you into this world and the time that it's looking at. So I love that, and you know, that can also be said for Mafia 3 as well. I think Mafia 3, I think that definitely people have warmed up to it. When it first released, you know, I still think there are definitely problems with it. It's very repetitive, but the repetition is fun, so I don't mind it, and I actually really love like doing the same thing over and over again, but sort of finding different ways to do it. So, and there are missions that are sprinkled throughout. You sort of like, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed 1, but better, where it's like you do this, you go to this place, you do that, you do that, you do that, then you find the guy that you're supposed to kill and you kill him or whatever. Basically like that. You have to, you know, deal with informants, you have to bust up something and destroy property to, you know, lessen their control over the city and stuff like that. You have to kill their, you know, whoever, and find information or whatever and stuff like that. Then you get to, you know, take on the big guy, which usually ends up being a unique mission, so that's pretty cool. It has, I've seen it been compared to the new Hitman games, which isn't that far off, honestly. It's not as, you know, in-depth as the Hitman games. You have to, like, change disguise, you know, put on disguises and stuff like that. But it kind of has a similar feel to it in a way, where you're sort of, like, you can stealth around and stuff like that and take out guys and whatnot. And sort of the combat kind of feels like Hitman, so that's pretty interesting. But it really immerses you in this 60s feel, which I love a lot. You know, the radio, I just love driving around and stuff, and the cars are amazing. One of the interesting things about it is you play as this guy that's sort of like, you know, he's not really black, but he's like, I think he's like, I forgot what he is. He's like, I think he's Dominican or something like that. But you sort of, you know, you get treated as a black person, so it really, like, it does a great job of making you sort of like be like, see what it's like in that mindset, and like be in, you know, the South during the 60s and everything, sort of the feeling of not wanting, you know, people don't want you there and everything like that. So it really is fascinating. I've never really seen a game do that before. So I like that. That's sort of like, it really gets you in the mindset and sort of makes you feel, you know, kind of what it would feel like, unfortunately, in that time frame and everything. So the feel, the vibes of Mafia 3 are amazing. I love the characters too. There's a lot of fun characters as well as some cool returning characters and everything. So it's a good time. I do enjoy it. It's also very cinematic too, in a way too. The cutscenes and stuff that it does are immaculate. It really has this cool, like, sort of documentary feel to it. So I do love that. So yeah, it just doesn't have as much detail. Like, for instance, Mafia 2 it's insane how much detail it has. You can turn off and on the lights when you walk into a room. The cops will chase you down if you go over the speed limit, which can be annoying. But I mean, GTA, you can like freaking like blast down the road at like 1,000 miles an hour and nobody will even bother. Same with Mafia 3. But in Mafia 2, the police are actually like much more of a threat. Now, don't get me wrong, they're stupid as heck, man. You can easily evade them and easily, like, you know, get past them. But it still is a pretty cool and pretty unique, like, thing. I don't really see that often. Like, speeding, getting pulled over for that in a video game? What? So yeah, Mafia 3 definitely feels way less detailed than Mafia 2. But once again, still fun. It is the weakest of the trilogy, but I still enjoy it personally. As you can imagine, that took up a lot of time for me, so I played for all the Mafias in preparation for a game I didn't even play. So that's fine. I do love replaying games. I'd love to replay the Ezio trilogy and Mass Effect. We'll see. Mass Effect for sure. Ezio, I don't know. But because I mean that's free games right there, so you know that's gonna take a while. But anyways, I played another Resident Evil game this time. We got Resident Evil 5. This is one that I think is ripe for a remake. I think there's a lot of great elements to it. I think there's some things that need to be refined, but overall it's a really fun experience, and I think definitely one of the most underrated Resident Evil games out there. I know there's definitely some that are probably more underrated that I haven't played yet because they're underrated. But yeah, 5 is a fun time. it's not super horror-y, to be honest with you. I mean, it definitely has elements of horror, and it definitely has some moments like, oh crap, you know, this isn't good. Especially when dealing with like those chainsaw guys, like those guys are menaces, man. My goodness, it takes forever to kill them. But it feels like more of an adventure game, honestly, like a sort of a survival adventure, which I've personally loved, especially like as it goes on. Like you start off in like this like ramshackle like place in this place in Africa. But then as you go on, you sort of like find this like underground like temple-y sort of thing that sort of gets a little Tomb Raider-y, and it's a good time. It's a nice vibe, man. Really enjoyed that. I love the locations and stuff like that. It does have a similar story to 4, you know, just with Chris instead of Leon, but I didn't really mind that too much, to be honest with you. I still think it has some unique elements to it, and I think the setting itself makes it more unique too. You know, it's sort of this idea like, oh, this town is fricked up, man, we gotta go in here, instead of, you know, in Europe, it's in Africa. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't mind that personally. I thought it was unique enough, and it has some interesting stuff with you know, some of the other characters from the past games that I thought was cool. So it's a good time, and I think the combat's pretty fun too. I like this system of having 2 players and everything. Thought that was a really unique addition to the game too, that I'd love to see be continued in Resident Evil 5 if they ever do remake it, which I think they will, because they definitely were hinting at it in the end of 4, so that's cool. The only things that I don't really like, it's pretty much just one thing, is the boss fights, man. I do not like the boss fights. I think the boss fights are creative as far as their designs, but the thing that I don't like about them is there's only one way to defeat an enemy. If you shoot a freaking boss like a million times, it doesn't matter. You have to do it the exact way or it's not going to work. So, didn't really love that. I think that's interesting, and I think that kind of like, I think like it lends itself to that game. I think it makes sense for the game to do that. I just didn't like it though. I'll be real with you. There's especially one boss fight. I forgot what his name was, but God, I hated that. That was terrible. That was really brutal. You have to like hit it, and you have to like get it to you know, open up and stuff like that, so you can shoot it at its weak points, and it only opens up for like a very small amount of time, so you have to do that. Like it's just such a pain, man. I did not like that. So I think in the future, if they do remake it, I hope they make the boss fights better. That's my only note. Everything else though, perfect. Here's the last game on this list, and you'll probably understand why it is the last one on this list because of how long it is. I already started playing the next one in the series, which is actually the first one in the series. But, so that will be on next year's list as my first game of the year. But anyways, I finally sat down and played Red Dead Redemption 2. I started a little bit ago. I had it on the Xbox, and I just, because I was, for whatever reason, during COVID, I was replaying Mafia 3. I was like, let me give this a try again. I was like, yeah, this is fun. And that's where I sort of got my appreciation for the game, and I still appreciate it now. It's another game that I would pick up and play whenever, honestly. Like, that's definitely a game that's just such a fun time. It has some good stuff to it. It has some fun missions and everything. So, you know, not perfect like Mafia 2, but still fun. But I only got past the first chapter, and for whatever reason I just stopped playing. I was like, but then I was like, all right, I should play this. I should walk in and play it. And I enjoyed what I played when I did play it, but I guess I just wasn't as locked in enough. And in fairness, I think if you just play Chapter 1, you're not really going to get too invested in it. I think Chapter 1 is good, and I think there's definitely, like, you know, obviously the big train heist in Chapter 1 is really good, setting the stage for everything. But I don't know, it just, I think Chapter 1 is great still, but it just really gets better and better as it goes on. It's just such a, there's like, I don't know, there's not really a lot of words I can use to describe it as powerfully as it needs to be described. It's just such a beautiful and just expansive and wonderful game that really is truly super emotional and everything. I loved all of the characters. I thought all of them were so interesting and have their own unique stories and sort of things they're going through and their own personalities and everything that just feels so alive and real. And the way the game is told is told in such a brilliant way, combining, you know, gameplay elements and these missions and stuff like that to the general story, and how like you sort of feel like Arthur is feeling in the moments and everything, and you know how like certain changes and everything make you not want to do certain things and make you want to do other things more. So it really is just such a beautifully made game, just so immersive, and just I miss it a lot. It was such a great experience. I'm really glad that I got to experience it. And let me point out some of the weaknesses real quick. Hold on. So I think the missions if you take the missions, like a lot of the missions as just like their own separate thing, they're not that great. I think they're great because of the characters and everything, but the actual root gameplay of it is good and can be really exciting, but sometimes it's just riding and talking, or like, you know, going to this location, scouting it out, you know, or whatever, or getting in another shootout, you know, and everything like that. So I think the gameplay in some regards and the missions aren't that special, but I think the overall story and the characters makes up for that, so I don't think that's a problem either. Like, you're not going to be talking about, like, some of these missions that are just sort of like, yeah, that mission, yeah, you know. There are some really memorable missions, some amazing missions that, of course, also stand above the rest and really make the game what it is. But I think, on a whole, if you just take, like, the pieces of you take the pieces of Red Dead, you know, I don't think they work quite well separated. But it's a whole game, it's a whole experience, it's very cinematic, it's very much about this core story and everything, and all the emotions and the arcs for everyone. So I don't think that matters. Once again, you could say the same thing about GTA 5 as well. There's missions that, like, what, you know, go get a mask from the store, you know, wow, that's great, you know, all the heist setup stuff, wow, I like it, it's fun. But it's meant to be taken as a whole experience, not just these little pieces. So, once again, sort of a weakness that I find, I guess, in just Rockstar games in general. But I don't think that's a problem either. I think that's fine, because it works. I mean, just the environments alone are just so very serene and beautiful. If you ever just want to, like, you know, calm down and just, you know, have a nice walk through nature without going outside. Red Dead Redemption 2, man. So good. I think, yeah, the mechanics are a little dated. I think the shooting is pretty good. I think it's better than GTA 5. The real stuff that I love is the detail, how hair grows and everything like that, and horses, all the details of that, and just so many, like, really small, minute things that just make the game even more immersive, so I appreciate that. It's so deeply emotional in the way that it tells its story, too. You really get invested, and you reach a certain point where you start to see how things are going to go down. And, you know, you can't really stop it, and that's hard, but it's really just beautiful. So many iconic missions and everything too. I love, you know, of course, the different heists and everything that it all sort of builds up to. The little moments as well too, just between characters and everything, like seeing like John and Arthur bond and everything. You can sort of see how John gets to be where he is in the first game and whatnot. And yeah, just so many, like, really just beautiful and moving moments, especially the missions with Mary as well. It's so wild looking back at some of the early missions and seeing, like, where, you know, after the game, and like seeing how far it goes and everything, especially for Sadie, like seeing what Sadie was like in Act 1, Chapter 1 is insane, you know. Anyways, yeah, just truly amazing. I think my ranking of the chapters would be from top to bottom. I'd say that my favorite is probably Chapter 3, then Chapter 2, but those are really close. Then Chapter 6, so that's 3, 2, 6. Then I would say 4, I guess? Or, no, I don't know. It's kind of tough. I probably actually, let me just rattle these off right now. I'll probably go 3, 2, 6, Epilogue 2, 4, 5, 1, and then Epilogue 1. But I like Epilogue 1. I almost want to put Epilogue 1 above Chapter 1, but I don't know. I think they're both pretty close for me, I guess. They both have some really great moments, and they have some moments that I do like too. So yeah, I think I might like more of Epilogue 1 because it's like a nice, like, sort of like more relaxing bit after the craziness of Chapter 6. But yeah, it truly is such an amazing game. I'm really glad that I got to play it this year. To end off the year too as well. Very emotional send off to the year, so I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna say it, I like Red Dead more than GTA 5. There we go. You're welcome. That's probably not that controversial, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like GTA 5. It has its moments that are more emotional too. But it feels more like a movie, and this feels more like just like it's like a story, like being a part of history and everything like that. So very good stuff. yeah, and I'll be playing Red Dead 1. I've already started, and it's quite good so far, so looking forward to playing more and defeating that next year. But anyways, let me know what you guys played and what you are excited for. This next year is going to be a very big year for gaming. Even if GTA 6 gets delayed again, we still have, Lego Batman, we've got Resident Evil, we've got Wolverine, all the other exciting announcements that got announced recently and everything. So I'll see you all soon.